Okay, every video's got to have a start and a beginning and the middle and the end and all that stuff. So what it is, I've got to change a tire on the front of my Toyota Avensis. Now, first thing I've done is I've located the proper jacking point. Now, underneath the car, you'll see a little spot that'll have two little U shapes under it. So you want to put your jack right on that spot there, and it sort of straddles the frame a little bit. So what I've done so far is I've started to raise the jack a little bit, but I found the jack is so squeaky I'm going to use some GT85 on there. But before I do all that, I want to make sure the lug nuts are loose before I raise the jack up. So we get over here and loosen the lug nuts. Now if you got a tool like this, you're smiling. If you have a tool like this and it's really hard to do, you can put your foot on there and give it some leverage. Okay, this is the one that comes in the spare kit, so you can put that on there, and be careful though when you do that, you know. So these are all loose, I think, now. Okay, so I can continue with the jacking process now. And we'll move over here a little bit and zoom back. Now, can I zoom back any? No. See if you can hear the noise that this is making. Okay, you hear that? So, gonna give it some squirt GT85 in there, and then there's the long thread thing down there. It could be the scissors down there. Could be the scissors up here. Now, when I took this jack out, I had it wrapped in a towel in its compartment, but the compartment was soaking wet, the towel was soaking wet, so this has been sitting there subject to moisture. Now, lovely. Now, a little bit of a squeak. Okay, now if your tire's flat and you're putting a regular run flat tire on there, you're probably okay with it just getting off the ground. But if it's a full size and you're putting a full size, you want to jack it up a little bit higher. And I always try and keep it as low to the ground as possible. Now, one of the points that they say before, obviously, make sure it's in gear, the brakes on or in park. And then on the diagonal, that's the front up there. Come back here and put something on the right side, at least on that side if you can. If you got something, fine. Put something on every wheel if you can. So I'm fairly happy with that. Now I've also got a full-on service jack here that I could be using if I wanted to, but I wanted to show you how you can do it with the car tire. So here we go. Now let's see if we can put this down like this. Now, continue with taking the wheel off. Did you hear the one about the guy who had a flat tire next to Broadmoor mental prison? And he was out there changing the wheel, taking the lug nuts off like I did, and he put them in a hubcap. And somehow another car came along or something, and the hubcap went flying down this hill and into the River Thames there, I think it is. And the guy didn't know what to do. He thought, oh man, what am I going to do for lug nuts now? In the meantime, there just happened to be one of the institution's guests, Her Majesty's Pleasure there, and he said, well, why don't you take a lug nut off of the other three wheels and put them on here. And, okay, that fits. That's all I wanted to do first, was check that fits. Now, what I want to try to do now is have a little look and see if we can tell how much brake pad wear we've got left before we need to change the brake pads. Now, looking at the brake pad. Here's the brake pad here. Where is it? Here's the brake pad right here. Okay, now this part is called the caliper, or part of the caliper. And there's two pads. There's one on each side, one on the inside, one on the outside. Now this one right here, if you look right into that slot right there, between here and there, it's a little more than 1/4 inch. So those pads have got some wear left in them, but it's, you know, it's time to be thinking about putting that on the list. Now, otherwise, that's all you have to do. Just